Alrighty, so you've probably heard someone tell you at some point in your career that if you wanted to excel or advance in your career, you need to speak up at work. And myself, even, I've shared that. But sometimes I think, like, how do I do it? Like, what am I saying? Speak up at work, speak up in meetings. What exactly does that mean? And so in this video, I'm sharing a couple of tips of how you can contribute to conversations, contribute to meetings, something that it doesn't always come very naturally to people who tend to be introverted. So that's what we'll be talking about in this video. My name is Lisa Apia. I'm a certified career and resume strategist and the founder of We Apply. I tend to work with talented introverts, helping them boost their confidence and visibility so that they get hired and promoted, and always while staying true to themselves. And so let's get right into it with some tips of how you can speak up at work and contribute to meetings. So a great way that you can contribute to meetings is by asking questions. So you may not always be the person who has the answers, or you may not be always the person who's leading the conversation, but sometimes by asking genuinely well thought of questions, you can stir the conversation in a certain direction. And so asking questions is very necessary and helpful. It can help drive conversation, but it can also help expose issues that maybe other people have not thought of. And so a great way that you can contribute to a meeting or to a conversation is by asking questions. The second thing that you can do is support someone else's point of view. Maybe somebody shared a really great point. You can say that you agree with that point and then state why you agree with the point that the person shared. This is a great way to encourage that person also that you're validating what they just said, but it's also a way for you to contribute to the conversation and the discussion and let your opinion be heard in that discussion. The other thing that you can do, we talked about asking questions, but if other people are asking questions, you can also answer the questions. You may have the answer to the question. And so don't sit there and just wait for someone else to say it, or, just wait and nobody's saying it. And in your head, you're like, it's boiling. You have the answer. You want to share the answer, but you're not saying anything. Just say it. Just answer the question. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, share it with the rest of the team so everyone can benefit from it. And you'll see that as you start doing it, it'll become more and more comfortable to you. And so initially, it may not be that comfortable. I know that when I was trying to push myself to speak more in meetings, sometimes like the words they would get stuck here, like the words weren't coming out. Sometimes I'd get like out of breath because I was just trying to say something, but just trying to push myself to say and contribute something meaningful to the conversation, but my nerves and just who I was as a person wasn't enabling me to do so. So that happens. There are times you will fumble. There are times that, you'll run out of breath. It's okay. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the learning process. And you don't have to feel embarrassed by it. I know a lot of times people want to keep up with appearances and all that. If it's something that is really concerning to you, then what you can do is start with a smaller setting. Start practicing when it's maybe just your smaller team, and start prompting and encouraging yourself in meetings to say, I'm going to say at least one thing in this meeting. I'm going to contribute and answer at least one question. I'm going to ask at least one question. And then as you're doing it in the smaller groups, you'll become more comfortable with it so that you can do it when there are more people around and in a larger setting. Another thing that you can do to contribute to a conversation or a meeting is to summarize the meeting outcomes. I'm sure you've been to meetings that, great conversation, so many things were said, but then it's not even clear what was the outcome of the meeting. Nobody took down any action items. You can be that person. Maybe you kept track of what was being said and who said they were going to do what. My disclaimer to this is that it doesn't mean that you're going to be the person taking on all the action items that came out of that meeting. But maybe somebody said, hey, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'll prepare this for the next time. You summarize those meeting outcomes and you'll see that it's something very helpful to ensure accountability after various conversations, and people will recognize that and even thank you for that. The last thing that I will say is share your thoughts early. Just get it out really early in the meeting so that you don't have to stress about it and you don't have to sit there half an hour into a meeting knowing that, okay, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something now. Okay, I'm going to say something. Just say it, get it out early in the meeting and let your thoughts be heard. Ask your question earlier on so you get it out of the way, and then you'll be more relaxed for the rest of the conversation so you can just engage and contribute more naturally as opposed to feeling forced to do something. And so those are some of the various ways that you can contribute to meetings. You can speak up at work and let your voice be heard. I hope you found these tips helpful. I post videos on YouTube every Thursday and I talk about leadership, LinkedIn, and career strategy. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time.